Hi everyone, welcome to Live Stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today for our yoga class, in terms of physicality, we are working into the belly, the core. In terms of yogic energy centers, we are focusing on the Manipuraka chakra, which is centered just below the belly button. This is the energy center in the body that controls our ego, our sense of vitality, self-worth, our confidence. The whole time when you're working on the mat today, I want you to think of all your movements emanating from and being controlled by your belly center so that you end your practice feeling strong and confident. We're going to begin with a little bit of breath work, some mobilization through the body. We will use Sun Salutation B as part of our dynamic warm-up. If you've never done this sequence before, I'll work you through. As always, when you're playing on the mat, I'd like you to work and play within your range of motion, playing where you're comfortable. You ready to do this? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class in a kneeling frame. So depending on your range of motion, either in a high kneel with your knees stacking and your hips stacking, or you can sit back on your heels, comfortably keeping the knees and the feet together. If this feels uncomfortable, maybe reach for a block, tuck the block through and sit back on the block. If this is still not working for you, find a seated frame that you feel comfortable in. Find your seat, relax your left hand, take your right hand. You're going to take the middle and index finger, line them up on your third eye, that little space between the two eyebrows, either keeping them connected or tuck the fingers in. You're going to use your thumb to control the opening and the closing of the right nostril. You're going to use your ring finger to control the opening and the closing of the left nostril. We're going to begin with some Surya Veda, sun-piercing breath. Close your eyes, take your focus in. Use your ring finger to close your left nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close the right nostril. Open and exhale left. Close the left nostril. Inhale right. Close the right nostril. Exhale left. You're going to get into a gentle cycle of only inhaling through the right nostril and exhaling exclusively through the left nostril. Finding a comfortable breathing pattern that works for you. If you feel comfortable here, you can add a third component in. Inhale through the right nostril, let's say for 3 counts. Close the right nostril, nod your chin to your chest, and hold your breath for double the amount, let's say 6 counts. Release your chin lock and open and exhale through the left nostril for 6. So your inhalation to retention and exhalation ratio is at a 1 to 2 to 2. Play where you're comfortable. And as you start connecting to your breath, I want you to focus on your belly center. Visualize a small ball of energy beginning from your energy and feeding out, radiating out to the rest of your body as you start warming up. Give me 2 more breath cycles. As you complete your last breath cycle, gently drop your right hand into your lap, open the eyes, and peel your way onto your knees. Give me a soft frame through the body. So from the side, just give me a soft little bend in the body. Don't stand bolt upright, and place your hands softly on your hips. You're going to think of giving me a little 360-degree pelvic rotation. Keep moving in one direction. building up some kundalini from the lower energy centers in the body and allowing them to spiral up towards the crown of your head. Change the direction of your circular trace. Think slow belly dancing motion. Play where you're comfortable. Find and channel your inner Bollywood. Give me 2 more. You're going to gently come to stillness along the midline of the body. Clip the knees and the feet together, sitting back on your heels or keeping your high kneel. Take a big breath in, let's say for 5 counts, and then exhale for 10 as you gently twist over the midline of the body. Inhaling, come back towards the center line. Exhale for 10 as you gently twist in the opposite direction. Play where you're comfortable, either kneeling high and playing from a higher frame, or sitting back and working from a lower center of gravity. Play where you're comfortable, just gently mobilizing through the spine on the exhale. Let's do 1 more to each side. As you complete your last breath, come back towards the midline of the body and give me a gentle pivot on the mat so that you're facing towards the front end of your mat, and ease your way into a 4-point kneeling frame. Hands stacking comfortably underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let's play in cat-cow, Chakravakasana. Take a little inhale to prepare, giving me a concave shape, taking your chin and your bum bones to the ceiling and hollowing out through the spine. But keep control, keep the belly button softly pulled in. On an exhale, round out, giving me a nice stretch into your shoulder blades and the lower back. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in. You're going to alternate between the 2 shapes, playing between your cat and your cow, and keeping control the whole time through your belly button. So even when you're giving me that concave shape, you're not allowing your belly to hang without control onto the floor. You're keeping it softly activated. Start tying your movement into your breath. Give me a nice little ujjayi exhalation as you round out. Almost squeezing and compressing the air in the larynx as you exhale through the nose, giving me a nice audible sound. Give me 2 more cycles. End for me in a neutral tabletop line and find your way into a soft down dog frame by tucking your toes under. Start by hovering the knees off the floor and then push the weight back into your heels so that you can feel a strong connect to your belly center. Then slowly start lengthening through the back chain of the legs and find an inverted V shape or a little down dog. As you pedal through the alternate leg, start opening up the back chain of your legs. Keep focusing on that belly center and find your sense of center. Then bend and extend through both knees together, working at a pace that's comfortable for you, and start really opening up those kinks on the back chain of the legs. When you're ready, slowly start walking the feet forward towards the front of the mat. Keep your fingertips connected to the mat as you bend and extend, stretching and emanating from your belly. If you can't comfortably reach the floor, hang from the waist or maybe reach for a block. Place the block on the floor and get a nice lean-to position. Playing with the block and finding what works for you. Opening up those legs progressively. Come to stillness along the midline of the body and check that your feet are just inside of hip-width distance apart. Soften through the knees and roll up from your belly. Feel the energy centered in your belly. We're going to start running through Sun Salutation B. Make sure that you've got enough room to play behind you. Either keeping your feet just inside of hip width distance apart, or if you've got no knee issues, heel toe in for me and connect your big toes and your ankles, standing up nice and tall in the modified mountain Tadasana. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, and find length from the belly. Float your hands to prayer in front of your heart and take a second or two just to connect to your belly. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, sit back into an imaginary chair as you float your hands overhead. Weight into your bum and your heels. Fold forward softly, connecting to the mat if you can with your fingertips, and take a step back on the right leg. Coming into a soft lunge line and making sure you've got knee over ankle on the lead leg. Step up your back leg and give me a narrow pyramid shape. Hands connected to the mat if you can, or gently hang from the waist, but give me extension and control through the core. Soften through your knees and step back into a plank line. We're going to chaturanga down. Use the knees for support if you need to. Bend through the elbows, hugging them in towards your waist, and then drag the weight forward onto your palms and the bridges of your feet. Strong through your up dog today and stretch from the lower belly center up towards your chest. Tuck your toes under, find a down dog. If the legs are still tight, pedal it out for a breath or two before you settle into your dog. Soften the right knee and step up the right leg to the inside of the right hand, wiggling the foot forward and making sure you've got knee over ankle if the leg is still stiff. Drop your back leg to 90 and windmill open into a beautiful T shape as you find Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Keep lengthening from your belly center out towards your fingertips. Tuck your back toe under, pivot to face the front of the mat, and frame your hands overhead as you find a modified Warrior 1. Frame your lead leg and step back into a plank. Chaturanga down, use the knees if you need to, bending through the elbows and finding your way into an up dog on your palms and the bridges from your feet, strong through your belly center and your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, find your down dog. Step up one leg at a time or come up onto your fingertips, bend through the knees, give me a relaxed dog connecting to your belly, and use your tummy muscles to give me a little bunny hop forward, landing softly on the balls of your feet. Connect the whole foot to the mat and sit back into your chair as you float your hands overhead. Hands to heart center. We're going to rinse and repeat, starting to move with more flow and purpose as you find your core connection. Sit back in chair. Fold forward. Pause. Step back on the left. Find your lunge line. Check your knee and your ankle on the lead leg. Step up on your back leg. Give me a narrow pyramid. Play with your arm position and your forward fold. Find what works for you. Soften through the knees and step back into a plank. Bend through the elbows and chaturanga down, dragging the weight forward and setting up a strong up dog. Find your belly center, tuck your toes under, and ease into down dog. Give me a soft knee on the left and step through to a Warrior 2. Drop your back leg to 90 and windmill your arms wide. Don't drop the backhand. Try and give me a nice soft parallel line and keep lengthening from your belly center towards your extended arms. Tuck your back toe under, pivot to face the front of the mat and come lower to the mat as you modify your Warrior 1 lunge line. Drop your hands to the mat and step back into a plank. Bend through the elbows and chaturanga down with control, easing into an up dog, and then bleeding into a down dog. Step up one leg at a time or find your way onto the fingertips. Bend through the knees, find your belly center. Launch yourself forward, landing softly on the feet. Sit back into your chair. Weight into your bum and your heels. Find your way back to your start position in mountain. Let's do one more round. Move with flow. Exhale, sit back in your chair. Utkatasana. Fold forward, in Uttanasana. Step back on the right and give me a soft lunge line. Step up the back leg and give me a narrow pyramid, Parsvottanasana. Stretch those legs, find your belly connection. Soften through the knees and ease your way into a plank, Kumbhakasana. Chaturanga down with control, finding your way into an up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Tuck your toes under, find down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Softly on the right, give me a swing and a step through. Drop your back leg to 90 and windmill open into a beautiful warrior two with those arms T-shaped and your gaze steady over your front forefinger. Tuck your back toe under and give me a warrior one line, coming low to the mat and finding that connection through your core. Frame your lead leg and ease back into a plank. Chaturanga down with control, flowing into an up dog and then into a seamless down dog frame. Soften through the fingertips and the knees. Hop forward to set up your chair, weight into your bum and your heels. Hands come to heart center as you come back to mountain. Exhale as you find your chair. Inhale and then exhale as you find your forward fold. Give me a step back on the left. Then scooch up your back leg, set up a narrow pyramid. Soften through the knees and ease your way into a plank line. Bend through the elbows and chaturanga down with control, finding your way into an up dog and then bleeding into a down dog frame. Soften through the right leg, swing it through, find your step through position, drop the back leg to 90 and windmill your arms open into a long extended T frame as you find Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Tuck your back toe under pivot so that you're facing the front of the mat and drop nice and low through your belly center. Connect both hands to the mat and step back into a plank. Bend through the elbows, using the knees for support if you need to. Drag the weight forward over the wrists and the big toes and set your up dog. Tuck your toes under and ease your way into a down dog. Find your way onto the fingertips, soften through the knees, find your core center. Give me a little bunny hop forward, control through the core, no thumping of your feet. Connect both sets of feet to the mat and ease your way into chair. Come up along the center line and find a recovery breath or two in your mountain Tadasana. From this frame, we're going to start playing in our primaries. Soften through the knees, find your core connection and softly fold forward. Connecting your hands to the mat if you can as you bend and extend through the back chain of the legs. Using your block on the mat if you need to. Play where you're at. As we start playing with the primaries, remember to focus on your belly center and work with purpose from the belly. We're going to start playing on the right side of the body first, stepping your legs back into a down dog frame on the mat. Hands more or less shoulder width apart, feet hip width distance apart. Push into the hands and the feet simultaneously. Make your crown heavy to the floor and think of piking your bum up to the ceiling. Your belly controls the movement as we start playing. Find your core connection. Soften through the right knee and kick up into the three-legged dog on the right. Let's arch the dog. Bend the right knee, point the toe up to the ceiling. Open up the knee to the right and drop the foot to the left, peeking over that right shoulder to arch your dog. Control through the core. Core strongly braced to protect your lower back. Hold, thinking almost of looking like a little scorpion pierced for attack. You're going to find your way into a knee-up plank. Think knee to nose as you give me a nice parallel line with your body to the mat. And then let's play dynamically. Kick up the right leg behind you and then think knee to elbow on the right. Pausing in your modified plank line. Let's repeat. Kick up that leg behind you. Think knee to nose, pause in your knee up plank. Kick up the leg behind you softly. And then think knee to elbow as you come back into your plank line. One more time, strong through the core. Kick up that right leg behind you. Think knee to nose, pause, strong through your core. Kick up the leg behind you. Think knee to elbow on the right. Hold. One more kick back, then we're going to find our way into a warrior one line on the right. Swing the right leg through. If the leg gets stuck on the mat, corral it, bring it forward. Line up your knee and your ankle. Look at your back leg, bring it in slightly, dropping it to 45. And then peel up along the center line with both hips looking to the front of the mat. See if you can wiggle out, opening up as much as you can through the legs. Both hips are looking to the front of the mat and your arms are softly framing your ears as you find Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. From here, we're coming into a balancing challenge, Warrior 3. Try to keep your arms framing your ears. Launch off the back leg. Use your back toe for support on the mat if you need it. Hinge forward from the waist, trying to frame your ears and keep your hips as parallel to the floor as you can. Keep lengthening through your extended arms and your back toe. Soften through the front knee and try to connect your hands to the mat. Try to keep your left leg floating off the mat as you hop back into a one-legged plank. Chaturanga down. Try to keep that left leg floating or connect both feet to the mat. Bend through the elbows, trying to hover your body just off the mat. And then push up, strong through the arms, and step into a plank line with your feet together along the midline of the body. We're going to take it to a side plank, playing on the right first. Pivot your body right, stacking one leg on top of the other and floating your top hand up to the ceiling. If this is too much for you, stack your top leg in front of your bottom leg or bend the bottom knee and extend the top leg. Play with the modification that works for you. If you're comfortable here, float your top leg up to the ceiling and think of looking like a little starfish. Keep lengthening and strong from your core. Find your way back into your plank line with your feet stepped together along the midline of the body, and then drop to the elbows and open up your legs hip width distance apart. Try to creep your feet a little bit closer towards your nose line. Keep pushing down strongly through the elbows. Find your core connection and pike your bum up softly to the ceiling as you come into quarter dog. Katurd Svanasana. From here, gently find your way onto the knees and ease into child pose. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Arms extended out softly in front. And then soften through the arms and just drape them gently on the mat as you take a little time out in Balasana, child. Come through a soft 4-point kneeling frame. Tuck your toes under, hover your knees up off the floor, ease your way onto the fingertips, and see if you can give me a soft little bunny hop forward to come into a seated frame. As you hop forward, cross the feet behind you and sit back onto your bum, coming straight into a long boat line with the arms and the legs in extension. If this is too much for you, bend the knees, either hovering your arms alongside your legs or bend the elbows and find a nice little holding spot behind your thighs. Play where you're comfortable. In boat, Navasana. Drop the legs down to the floor with control and sit up nice and tall at the front end of your mat with room to play behind you, lengthening into staff pose and dropping the arms at your sides. We're going to come into an inverted plank line, and I'm going to give you some options with your feet, either keeping your feet clipped together and braced into those heels, sitting up nice and tall. Take a big breath in and run your hands behind you, stopping when they're lining up underneath your shoulders as you drop the soles of your feet to the mat and squeeze through the glutes and the hamstrings to hold an inverted plank frame. If this feels uncomfortable for you, from your seated frame, give me a soft Pilates V with your toes splayed out to the corner of the mat. The rest of the movement stays the same. Slide your hands back, lining up underneath the shoulders. Squeeze through the glutes and come to rest on the knife-edged portion of your feet. Ease your way back down into your seated frame. And as your bum connects to the mat and you start sitting up straight, bend your right leg and bring it wide, about mat width distance apart. Replicate on the left and see if you can walk your way into a wide squat, opening up the feet as wide as you need to. Bring your hands to prayer and push open through the knees. Front view, open up the legs as wide as you need to. Hands are in prayer and you're using the elbows to push and open up through the knees. If coming into a low squat is not an option for you, come higher off the ground, maybe finding a resting spot on your thighs and just gently leaning into your squat line. Play where you're comfortable. Keep opening up through Malasana, dropping your bum bones as low to the floor as you can and pushing through those elbows. From here, we're going to find our way into a crow line, Bakasana, and I'll give you some play options here. I'll start with a side view and then give you a front view. From your wide squat line, drop your hands softly to the mat and heel toe in, coming into a floating butterfly with the weight on your toes and the heels touching behind you. Place both hands on the mat in front of you, shoulder width apart. Give me a soft little bend into the elbows and lean your body weight into the hands. Looking off the front of the mat, find your connection through the core. As you lean into the hands, squeeze in to your triceps and see if you can bring one foot off the mat. See if the other foot will come up, and then think child pose with the big toes together and the knees softly splayed out. Hold for as long as you can. Front view. Find your floating butterfly position on the mat. Place both hands on the mat, more or less shoulder width apart. Flare your elbows out to the side of the room. Squeeze in. Floating the legs softly behind you as you find your crow. If holding liftoff is a no-go for you today, Houston is not available, then you're going to just play with that core connection. So every time you lean into the arms, just find a gentle rock in. As you lean in, pull the belly button in, connect to your core, and then softly rock back. Play with the variation of crow that's working for you today. Come gently out of crow, opening up the feet about hip width distance apart, and come into Upavesana, a low squat line, trying to keep your feet and your knees as parallel as you can, with the arms stretched out in front of you, and I want a low center of gravity, almost think chest to knees. Then softly fold forward, stretching from the core as you come into a gentle forward fold, bending and extending through both legs. Using your block if you need to. Play with the variation of the forward fold that's working for you today. From here, we're going to find our way into down dog and repeat that little sequence on the left. Step back into a down dog frame. Find that connection through your core. Allow the core to drive your movements as we begin playing on the left. Settle into your dog. Use it as you would recovery. Stretching into all the limbs. Soften through the left leg and pick up the left leg behind you, finding your three-legged dog. Let's arch the dog on the left. Bend the left knee, point the toes softly up to the ceiling. Open up the knee to the left and drop the foot to the right, giving me a slight arch through the back as you peek over the right shoulder, looking for that left foot. Ready for some core work? You're going to give me a knee up plank and hold. Kick up into a three-legged dog and then think knee to elbow as you find your plank line. Squeezing those elbows in towards the midline. Kick back into your three-legged dog. Knee to nose as you find your plank line. Strong through the core. Kick back into your three-legged dog. Knee to elbow on the left. Keep those elbows squeezed in. Activate your core. Kick back into your three-legged dog. One more time. Knee to nose. Hold your strong plank line. Kick up. Knee to elbow as you find your plank. Strong through that core. We're going to find our way into a warrior one. Kick back. Swing that left leg through. If the leg gets stuck, corral it. Bring it forward. Knee over ankle. Look at your back leg. Drop it to 45. Bring the leg in if you need to. Peel up from your center and set up your warrior one line on the mat. Dropping the shoulders away from your ears and think strength radiating out from your core. Ready for a little balance? Find your warrior three. Launch off the back leg. Use your back toe if you need to. Find a hinge from your core and settle into a soft tabletop frame, trying to keep your shoulders and your hips as squared to the floor as you can manage today. Soften through the lead leg, connect your hands to the mat and see if you can keep that right leg floating as you hop back into a plank line. Connect your palms and chaturanga down, trying to keep that right leg floating off the mat. Strong through the core if you can. Use your knees for support if you need it to come back up. Connect both feet together as you settle into a narrow plank. Let's play in side plank on the left. Rotate your body weight to the left, stacking one leg on top of the other and floating your top arm up to the ceiling, or finding a modification that works for you. If you feel strong here, float the top leg up to the ceiling, thinking balancing star. Think of that core connection, all the energy radiating out through your limbs from your belly center. Find your way back to your plank and then ease straight onto the elbows, piking your bum up to the ceiling and creeping your feet closer to your nose. The core is your epicenter of this pose. Your crown is floating off the floor and you're giving me a strong push through the shoulders and the elbows to keep that head dangling just off the floor. Strong through your belly center. Let's take a time out in child. Arms either extended in front, or if your shoulders are taking a punch, just gently cup the arms around the body, back of the hands connected to the mat. Take a little time out here. And then when you're ready, you're going to come through a gentle 4-point kneel. Tuck your toes under, hover your knees off the floor, and then bring the weight onto your fingertips. Push back into your bum and your heels so that you can feel that strong connect through the core. You're going to give me a little hop to come to a seated frame. Find that core connection. Allow the core to pull you forward, crossing the feet behind you, sitting back and coming straight into your extended boat line. Arms and legs nice and lengthened as you tip the weight just off your tailbone. If this is too much, give me a bent knee alternative. If you need more support, brace the hands behind your thighs and float your elbows wide. Find the boat line that's working for you today. Strong through the core. Sit up nice and tall at the front edge of your mat and set yourself up for your inverted plank line. Playing with a straight foot line or giving me a soft V. Play with what feels comfortable for you. Run the hands back, lining up underneath your shoulders. Squeeze through the glutes and the hamstrings to bring your hips up towards the ceiling. Strong through the shoulders. Think of getting a nice little stretch through your belly center as you find intense east, a nice little inverted plank line. From here, we're going to find our way into that wide squat line. As you start softening through the bum and reconnecting to the mat, bend your knees and bring your legs nice and wide. Find your core connection and use that core connection to drag yourself forward, setting up your wide squat with your hands in prayer in front of your heart, and use those elbows to push and open up through the groin area. Keep lengthening through your spine. Find that connection through your belly button. We're going to set up a crow line from here. Softly connect your palms to the mat or fingertips and heel toe in. Finding your way into a floating butterfly with the heels of your feet connected and your knees gently butterflied out to the rim. Place your palms on the mat, shoulder width apart. Give me a soft bend to the elbows. Lean into the arms and look off the front of your mat. Use your nose and your chin as a counterweight to the balance and the weight that's traveling forward. See if you can find a connection to your core, hovering one foot off the mat, and then replicate on the other side. Hold your crow, Bakasana, or gently rock the weight back and forth. As you lean forward, find that strong connection to your inner thighs and your core. Play where you're comfortable. As you come down off your crow, you're going to gently sit back onto your bum, extending the legs out in front. You might need a strap for the next series. I'm going to demo with and without the strap. And I've got a limited field of view, so I'm going to change my orientation on the mat so that you can see how we can open up through the core as we come down. You're going to sit up nice and tall at the front end of your mat. And you're going to give me one roll down to come down on the back, using that core connection to draw yourself down to the mat. Nod your chin softly towards your chest and C-curve your spine out as you roll down one vertebra at a time. Hug your knees in towards the chest and cradle rock out. We're coming into a supine hand to big toe. If you can't easily extend the right leg and grab hold of the big toe and keep that hold, then I would suggest that you use a strap. You can either loop and kick in to your little loop on the strap, or you can simply just fold a hand towel or a strap around the foot, whichever feels comfortable for you. Grab hold of the strap in your right hand. T-shape your left hand, a palm down, and see if you can give me extension on your supportive leg. If you're feeling any niggles in the lower back, then maybe keep your supportive leg bent with the sole of the foot connected to the mat. So either playing with or without your strap. I'm going to give myself slightly more room on the mat to play so that you can see where I'm going to on the next move. From your A line, we're going to open up through the groin area. You're going to think of allowing your body weight to travel to the left. Keep looking and noticing what I'm doing with my supportive leg as I'm playing. I'm bracing softly into the foot. As I come over the center line, I'm going to tuck my toes under and think plank line. As my right foot connects to the mat, I'm going to push my right foot away so that my body line and my torso is looking towards the mat. My breastbone and my hip bones are looking down towards the mat, and I've tucked my back foot under, opening up through the groin and connecting my belly, my whole belly, to the mat. Allowing my left arm to softly drape underneath me, and then just resting my head softly on the mat or looking softly off the floor, whichever works more comfortable for you. Allow that belly center to connect to the mat. Find your way back towards the midline of the body. Quickly going to change my orientation on the mat. You're going to open up into the B-line. Holding your strap or just keeping your lock on the big toe, you're going to open up the right leg to the side while you float your head in the opposite direction. Keep control of that movement and try to keep your left shoulder and your left bum softly connected to the mat. So don't worry about how far your leg is opening up on the right. Keep control through your core. Bring that leg back towards the midline of the body. Bend both knees and connect the soles of the feet to the mat. Give me a soft T-frame through the arms. And then gently draw the knees in towards the chest and cross over to the left. Either having the left hand on the outside of the knees or coming into a corkscrew by extending both legs and trying to grab hold of the big toes on both feet as you come into a gentle twist. Find your way back, gently back towards the midline of the body. Cradle rock your lower back out. We're going to rinse and repeat that sequence on the other side. If you've got limited range of motion, scoot your way all the way over towards the left side of the mat so that you've got enough room to play. Extend your left leg up towards the ceiling, using your strap if you need to, or giving me a nice big toe lock. Give me a soft extended arm on the right. Find your support on the mat with your right leg, with your knee bent, or extend that leg along the mat and give me a nice brace and a push into that heel. Find your core connection. In a breath or two, we're going to bring that leg all the way over. Ready to play? Start dropping all your body weight to the right. Keep bracing into your supported leg. As that left leg connects to the mat, push the left leg away from you. Tuck your back toe under and try to bring your hips and your belly to connect to the mat. Breastbone looking straight down towards the mat with the right arm tucked underneath your body line. Peel back up along the center line. If you've got limited range of motion, just make sure that you make your way back onto the mat. Hugging both knees in towards the chest. Give me a soft T-frame through the arms. Drop both knees to the right as you look to the left, either keeping your right fingertips on the top of your left knee or extending both legs and trying to grab hold of both big toes as you come into a modified corkscrew. Play where you're comfortable. Find your way back to the center line, gently cradle rocking your lower back out, and then set yourself up in a supine butterfly. So find your position on the mat, bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet. If you're feeling any discomfort in the lower back, tuck a little bit of padding underneath the back. Allow the knees to splay open. Allow the soles of your feet to touch. Settle the weight of your back in, wriggle around on the shoulders and find a comfortable release through your back line. Close the eyes and take your focus in. Place your right hand over your belly and overlay the left hand on top, keeping the elbows soft and relaxed into the mat. Keeping your eyes closed, you're going to give me a couple of soft belly breaths here. As you breathe in, allow your belly to dome up towards the ceiling like a balloon inflating. As you exhale, allow your belly to flatten, almost as if you wanted to imprint your belly button into the mat. Breathing all the way into your lower belly on the inhale and ballooning your tummy out. On the exhale, flatten your belly As you get into a steady rhythm of inhalation and exhalation, keeping your body totally soft and relaxed, I want you to focus on that mental connection to your belly center, connecting to your ego, your vitality, your sense of confidence and self-worth. Connect to it. Give yourself a strong mental yes for confidence for the remainder of the day. Give me 2 more gentle breath cycles here. Then gently open the eyes, draw the knees together, and connect the soles of your feet to the mat. Hug the knees in towards the chest on an exhale, and on the inhale, allow them to gently peel away. Rinse and repeat that gentle hug in and release. And then when you're ready, gently float the right arm overhead, roll over onto the right side of the body, pause for a breath or two before you push up into that hand and find your way into a comfortable seated frame on the mat to end off your practice. Tuck into a seat that works for you. Float your hands gently to prayer and allow your prayer hands to just hover softly over your belly center. Namaste to you all. Have an amazing day, guys. I will see you all tomorrow for Pilates conditioning on the mat. We are going to be playing with the little circuits tomorrow, working the whole body, getting nice and strong. So allow that confidence that we built up today to carry through to your class tomorrow. Give me a thumbs up to like this class. Shoot me your comments. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Exciting news coming next week. Keep it light, guys.